Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Today, I'm just going to do a very small recap. I'm just going to cover 5-6 tickers because it was such a huge day. We didn't really need to trade much, right? Even though I wanted to cover some SPY, QQQ, the short I mentioned. I will see if I get time. But epic day, epic day, Tesla, of course, MSTR. I mean, just the best thing about today was a lot of traders in the community held all through. The beauty of the system that helps you hold it through, right? That's the beauty of the system. Okay, before I start, quick introduction. All these trade recaps and teachings is mostly from my trading community, and anything I share on YouTube or anything I share on your previous videos on Twitter or on Twitter. We trade repeatable system. My repeatable system, thousands of traders use across the world to trade consistently. We use Ripster EMA Clouds and MTF Clouds, and we also use repeatable setups. Setup is what you trade. System is how you trade. We have a game plan that we make every morning. This is the game plan that you see in front of you. Then we have the levels that we provide every morning to trade with, and using our Ripster EMA Clouds, I have all this education that I give you on YouTube, how to trade them. Of course, I have detailed webinars on vast topics with the PowerPoints in my community. I'm usually on the voice first few hours of the market open. Today I was on almost all day guiding through the Tesla trade, and I do put a lot of my comments as well in my alerts feed. Our community has news bots, scan bots. It's a bunch of other tools worth $500-600, which are free, available to the community traders. Hundreds of traders are on trading floor all day sharing their ideas. All right, that being said, let's start the recap. We'll go through the main place for the today. Let's start. All right, so Tesla. Let's start with the Tesla today. Tesla, what a day on Tesla. So start with Tesla, right? Let's see. So yesterday, of course, there was. Sorry for the noise in the background. My kids running around. So of course, Tesla yesterday reported earnings, one of the best earnings in recent history, right? Gross margins. I'm not going to go into the fundamentals of that, don't have time, but the point is it was one of the best earnings. A lot of the doubts that Elon Musk cleared on the conference call. So so Tesla was gapping up. We were actually even longed it yesterday from 221s here. I alerted the long in the community, and we were long all the way up here. And this morning was all about gap and go setup, right? So this morning was all about gap and go setup. How did we play it? Let me show you that. We had our pre-market plan on Tesla, right? So we have our pre-market plan. You can see right here, bullish bias to long on the cloud pullback. So we already knew that we're going to long it, right? Because it's such a strong earnings, such a big gap. You see that it never broke the 512s since the yesterday curl right here. It never broke the 512s, right? This is an epic trend. This tells you that buyers are just loading up. Any 512 pullbacks, you could scalp it all day. Any 512 pullbacks. So these are the days where you make exponential gains and where you do not hesitate, because these are the A plus setup. So that was the plan already, so everybody was bullish on the Tesla. We already knew that. So I just waited for, let me go just to the 1 minute chart. So I just waited a little bit, right? Just I don't want to chase it right out of the gate. And we got our pullback right here. And as soon as it started to do this, and when it pushed here, of course I was watching 10 minutes. That's when I told everybody, you see that, I was actually in the voice. I told them much earlier to go long, but you could see it was long right away. This is where it was long. And at the same time, a lot of call flow was coming in that was posted in the community. And that's when we got long, shares and options. I was trading 250 for the next week. And you take your first profits here, let it pull back, and you see this is the 512 8 9 ribbon comes handy. The pullback, right? So then I said lock a little, put the stops at 512s. So we lock a little, and you can always add here on the dips. That was a 512 curls. My next target was 250, 251. There was a big seller at 250. Once this flag broke out, I alerted it on Twitter as well. You see this flag breakout. That's what I said. Once we clear 250, we're going to go higher. So this was a flag breakout right here, the 10-minute flag breakout. I was using the volume as well there and not here. So that was a flag breakout on Tesla, and then Tesla from the flag breakout. Let's see if I can show you the volume bars here. just to keep eye where were the sellers, where were the breakouts. So you see that the buyers were continuously buying in this range. You see that a lot of volume here, sellers and buyers. So once we cleared this area, that was the breakout, right? From 251 breakout to push to 254, pullback to EMA Clouds, flag, push, just all day flag. Every dip on Tesla to this 512 EMA Clouds was a long trade, right? Every dip, this was consolidation. That's how the stocks moves. Push, flag, push, flag, push, flag, keep pushing. So I continuously guided everyone that 253, I said a log on the pops and rescale on the cloud dips. Basically, I was saying that keep buying on the cloud dips, right? Um, and then pull back. 258 was my other target. We pulled back, and then 260. I said still buy the dip mode as long as it's 512 holds. So I continuously said that still buy the dip mode. Basically, whenever it's dipping here, you buy it. Dipping here, buy it. Dipping here, buy it. And I said that even at half an hour before close, and then it just blew up end of the day. So really crazy move on Tesla today. If you see this Tesla's 250s went from $6 all the way to $16, right? If you had $600, that turned into $1,600, $600, right? So you can see that how this is a 10-minute chart on the 250 calls. You can see that how they pushed, flag, push, just moving like the stock, right? So you don't sell. You sell a little bit. If you have 10 contracts, you sell 3, add those 3 back, sell, add back a little bit. You hold the core position and you just keep selling on the top, making the profits, and all day there was no reason to get out of it. A lot of traders in the community today really did good today. They held it because of our system. Raj Singh had amazing day. A bunch of other traders had a crazy day. Like, it was a big huge day for us. But this is how you trade the exponential moves, right? So you look at the daily chart, what's doing, setting up for a monthly breakout. But even if you look at the daily chart, you see that it's a big gap and it's holding. So it's the gap it's holding. So the noob traders will think it's too high. They'll try to short it, but there's no short. Our system says when Ripster clouds are holding, you stay long. There was no reason to get out of it early. So really well executed trade today. Beautiful guidance, I would say. Most of the community traders did it well. You can see there was a flow as well on the top on Tesla. So that was flow helped as well. Where flows, it gives you a little bit more confidence. But Tesla was a no-brainer. Trade like this is which you make days, weeks worth of profits in single day, and you make those profits. Anyways, we're swinging Tesla now. It's looking for a day 2 move. Anything that's holds this 250 level, this 254, anywhere right here. Of course, I don't think we'll ever get 250 and soon, but any pullback, we're looking for a next leg up and a breakout over 263. Beautiful trade in the community. Huge home run. Let's go to the next one. All right, let's look at the next one. So next one we did in the community was VKTX. So VKTX, what was the plan, right? So VKTX had earning doesn't really matter. It's a great biotech stock with a bestie pipeline. So this morning, these were our levels, support level, pivot level. This was our plan. Bullish bias long, MTF breakout, right? So I was looking at these things, right? There was MTF 1, there's 1 hour cloud, then there's MTF 2021. So it was pushing over MTF, so it was a confirmed long. If you look at the daily chart, you will see that daily chart is breaking this level at 68. Then there's another breakout right here, 72. Or you can even consider this level with few wicks right here at 70 level, right? So as soon as I see the strength, the volume coming in, I say everyone long it versus 64 right at the open, 933. If you look at the 1-minute chart, right, it did pull back a little bit, but that's fine because the MTFs are our support, right? If you look at the 10-minute chart, that first candle was the amateur move, right? So that was an amateur move candle which just ended right here. So you could add here as well if you waited on amateur move, and then then VKTX started to work. Our first target was $70, and we hit the $70. Next target I gave was 71.03, and then two targets I gave was 72.20, and then we hit our 72.20 targets. Once we hit our 72.20 target, next target I gave was 75, keep runners, and then we did hit our 75 targets. At that time we were done with the most, just kept a little runners, and you see never broke the 512 clouds. It pulled back to the 512s, and then it continued to push back to 75. So you're going to add there as well on the call at the EMAs, 512 EMA clouds. So beautiful trade. A lot of the options went like 400% for a lot of the traders today, because usually it moves like $4, and today it moved almost 300%. It's ATR, right? So you see that when something moves from this tight range to an explosive move, the options are not priced in for that explosive move. That's why the options went like 400% lottos on VKTX. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to discuss is MSTR. So MSTR, what was the MSTR setup, right? So I've been watching MSTR for a long time, right? If you remember, if you follow me on Twitter, I posted this setup yesterday. So yesterday, this setup did not really work, lost on the options there, but today it broke out. So I mentioned in the morning, breakout, right? So, and then MSTR continued to break out all day. So let's look at MSTR. So initial trade on MSTR was this long right here at the open. You could trade the lotos. I gave the 230 target. 230 target bet, it broke 512. You exit here. Then you wait for this midday call setup. Right, so there was this midday call. I sent out an alert there, right here, your cloud reclaim, right? So right here you get long here, your stops are right under the clouds, maybe $2 stops or 2.5, whatever, but and then it ran from 224 all the way to 230s, 232s, 234s. So you see that, you could trade in the morning. Then this is my midday repeatable 3450 call setup, and even that paid nicely enough, because this was this breakout, right? There was this breakout, all-time high breakout, then this was a initial breakout that I shared, right? So this was the setup. So why was it long? This was the setup. It has been strong. You can see the volume. It has been trending, earning coming up, technical setup, and MSTR. We did have MSTR on our game plans right here. Thursday and Friday, MSTR top watch, because it usually runs on Thursday and Friday, and you can see that daily breakout watch. That was our pre-market planning, so that's why we did MSTR, and it was a nice winner as well. The options lotos ran really nicely there. So let's look at the next one. Next one was today, another one was a beautiful short with MTF Clouds. Let's look at that. That was NEM, right? So NEM was also on our watch list. If it pushed over the MTF, we would have longed it. You see that? That was the plan. But you see that it broke down MTFs right here. So NEM broke down the MTFs, and then it faded to the lower MTF. You can see the power of MTF, the power of the 50 EMA clouds, and then when it broke this one, then there was no stopping it, right? You literally could trade NEM short all day long. There was no reason to look for long anywhere there, right? So this was, this confirmed the short, this confirmed the short. You can even short this bear flag. You see it tries to find the support on MTF, and then it faded further, all day short. Beautiful trade, MTF Cloud. All right, let's talk about the next one. We can talk on the Honeywell. So let's see what was Honey. Honey was a late news, so we didn't have it in the game plan, but we did posted the news. Posted the news. So I did tell everyone Honeywell is a short. Watch the pops, and Honeywell from the open, it faded. You could even short it midday. This 512 fades. It faded all day. So that was a nice short again from the MTFs to the MTFs, right? So not all the time you will see this daily EMAs 20 and 50, 55. We're just lucky a lot of these setups work through those, and it's always a short first when we break 20 EMAs, and then when we break towards the 50 EMAs. So these kind of setups are always good. So another short example, I'm just showing you the beauty of a lot of these MTF setups, right? So MTF Clouds. All right, let's look at the next one. All right, so next one we're going to look at is now, right? So what was now? So now was, I didn't focus on, we were fully focused on Tesla, but my plan on now was bullish bias to long. That was my initial plan in the morning, and the bias kind of worked. I do think I mentioned on the voice as well that now is long in the morning, so was not on my alerts tab. We were busy with Tesla, but you see that now pushed from like from 940s all the way to 979s. I mean, so much range on now. Little illiquid stock, has a couple of dollars spread, so it's not easy to trade. But you did see that once this 512 gave up, it faded down as well. So just one of these trades. There were a lot of other trades today, but we didn't really do much. One thing I want to talk about is NVIDIA, why we avoided or short, because one thing was everybody was jumping into Tesla today. So NVIDIA, even though so much good news, there was no use trading NVIDIA. It was under the MTF Cloud. You see that, right? And at the open, I told everybody short scalps, do not long it, right? So it faded all day. So that was NVIDIA. So it's important, right? You don't have to like try to chase everything again and again. The first thing I told everybody was NVIDIA heavy, no longs, and that's what happened, right? It faded. You could have easily make money short there. I gave enough warnings because we want to trade the same thing every day. If there is no setup, there is no trade, right? If Tesla was running, your focus should have been Tesla. Nobody, you shouldn't care about NVIDIA, right? Just forget about NVIDIA. Just focus on the other names. So one thing I just want to cover, the SPY QQQ. Of course, I was bearish on SPY at the open. It was bearish. My idea was to short SPY all day, and that kind of worked. If you follow the system, you can see that, right? Never pushed over the 512 EMA Clouds. Now, when this was dropping here, breaking here, somebody asked me, Rip, can I short here? No, you cannot short here. What you short is this bounce, and when it bounced, that's what I said. You short there, right? The 512 rejection, because your risk is small and you can exit right away. And if you see that we push here and we reject it, so that was a nice short scale mid of the day, right? So you can see my comments here, and then we curled and we pushed. That was a waste of time after that. So you need to identify when to trade SPY QQQ and how to trade that. If you do not understand, make sure you watch my SPY QQQ webinar, trade for living webinar that I did. So yeah, important to understand how to do these shorts. All right, guys, that's it for today. Just want to keep it small. See you tomorrow.